The next number is a musical story commissioned 75 years ago to nurture musical taste in young children. Peter and the Wolf was composed in 4 days and went on to entertain and educate generations of children as well as adults. How many of us remember hearing this in grade school? Never mind that the work's debut in Moscow drew poor attendance and, in its composer's words, failed to attract much attention. Well, this afternoon's band version of Serfei Prokofiev's Peter and the Wolf was arranged by Jim Curnow. Community band members Don and Shirley Clayton, recently honored as musicians of the quarter, chose the piece for this afternoon's concert. So, before the band begins the piece, let's meet the characters of the story and the music that represents each character. First, our hero, Peter. Peter's friend, the bird. A waddling duck. The cat. Peter's kind but stern grandfather. Of course, the wolf. And finally, a group of hunters. And now our story begins. Once upon a time, there was a boy called Peter. He and his grandfather lived in a cottage with a garden surrounded by a high stone wall. Outside there was a great meadow, and beyond the meadow a deep, dark forest. Early one morning, Peter opened the gate and went out into the big green meadow. On the branch of a big tree sat a little bird, Peter's friend. "All is quiet," chirped the bird gaily. Soon a duck came waddling around. She was glad that Peter had not closed the gate and decided to take a nice swim in the deep pond in the meadow. bird flew down onto the grass, settled next to the duck, and shrugged his shoulders. "What kind of a bird are you if you can't fly?" said the bird. To this, the duck replied, "What kind of a bird are you if you can't swim?" and dived into the pond. They argued and argued, the duck swimming in the pond, the little bird hopping on the shore. Suddenly, something caught Peter's attention. He noticed a cat crawling through the grass. The cat thought, the bird is busy arguing. I'll just grab him. And quietly, she crept toward him on velvet paws. Shouted Peter, and the bird flew immediately up into the tree, while the duck quacked angrily at the cat from the middle of the pond. Grandfather came out. He was angry because Peter had gone into the meadow. It's a dangerous place. If a wolf should come out of the forest, then what would you do? Peter paid no attention to his grandfather's words. Boys like Peter are not afraid of wolves. But grandfather took Peter by the hand, led him home, and locked the gate. No sooner had Peter and his grandfather gone than a big, gray wolf came out of the forest. In a twinkling, the cat climbed up the tree. The duck quacked, and in her excitement jumped out of the pond. No matter how much the duck tried to run, she couldn't escape the wolf. He kept getting nearer and nearer until he got her, and with one gulp, swallowed her. So now, here's how things stood. The cat sat on one branch of the tree. The bird sat on another, not too close to the cat.
Meantime, Peter, without the slightest fear, stood behind the closed gate watching all that was going on. Peter ran home, got a strong rope, and climbed up the stone wall. One of the branches of the tree around which the wolf was walking stretched out over the wall. Grabbing hold of that branch, Peter climbed over onto the tree. Peter said to the bird, "Fly down and circle around the wolf's head, only take care he doesn't catch you." Well, the bird almost touched the wolf's head with his wings, while the wolf snapped angrily at him from this side and that. Oh, how that bird did worry the wolf. How he wanted to catch him. But the bird was too clever, and the wolf simply couldn't do anything about it. Meanwhile, Peter made a lasso and, carefully letting it down, caught the wolf by the tail and pulled with all his might. Feeling himself caught, the wolf began to jump, wildly trying to get loose. But Peter had tied the other end of the rope to a tree, so the wolf's jumping only made the rope around his tail tighter. Just then, hunters came out of the woods following the wolf's trail and shooting as they came. But Peter, sitting in a tree, shouted, "Don't shoot! The bird and I have caught the wolf. Now help us take him to the zoo." And now, imagine the triumphant procession. Peter at the head, after him the hunters leading the wolf, and winding up the procession, grandfather and the cat. And above them flew the bird, chirping merrily, "My, what brave fellows we are, Peter and I! Look what we have caught!"
listened very carefully, you could hear the duck quacking inside the wolf. Because in his haste, the wolf had swallowed her alive.
Sweet.